Hello, everybody, and welcome to EA Summer Showcase. Thanks for coming. I'm Chip Lang. I'm General Manager in our EA Interactive group. And today, we're going to have the pleasure to get to present a number of games that you might have missed at E3, a couple that actually weren't at E3, and not only get a chance to show them to you here on the big screen, but more importantly, let all you guys get off to the gym and get a chance to play them. There's a number of great products that you're going to see from our EA Sports label. We've got an exciting next chapter of The Sims to debut for you today. We're going to walk through some crazy demos here in the mobile space to show you some things that I bet you didn't know you could do with your iPhone and your iPad. And then the EA Games label is going to wrap it up with a couple of titles that I'm personally real excited about showing to you. So we're going to start it off today with the EA Sports products coming out this fall. I want to introduce my good friend Andrew Wilson, who's going to come up and walk you through EA Sports. And I'll be back in a little bit and walk you through some of our mobile stuff. Take it away, Andrew.
Thanks, Chip.
You bet.
Afternoon, welcome to Summer Showcase. You know, July is a special time for us because for EA Sports, July represents what is pretty much the unofficial start to our season. And so we start to roll out now with our big titles through summer and fall. So we're just a little bit past E3, it was about a month ago. And for any of you that were there, you probably recognize we had a good show for sports. We had a lot of great games, we did a lot of great stuff, and certainly come out of that feeling good about what we're bringing out for gamers for the year to come. A couple of titles that we're not going to have here today, but certainly had a great show at E3, FIFA 12 and SSX. Certainly the coming out party for SSX, we got to show a lot more of that than we have in the past. Of 33 nominations, we landed 17 awards between these two titles. And for FIFA in particular, we got the coveted official Game Critics Award for Best Sports Game of the Show. So a hell of a show for these two franchises. Not here today, but you're going to see a lot more of these at Gamescom next month. But for what we do have, we got 4 of our big titles. We've got, of course, Madden 12, NCAA Football 12, NHL 12, and NBA Jam, the On Fire edition. So on NBA Jam, and I'm not going to go into it a lot, it's one of those games that you've got to play, you've got to feel to get a real sense of what we've been able to do. But I think what you're going to see is we've taken a lot of feedback from gamers, we've taken a lot of feedback from the community, and put it right back into the game. And the NBA Jam On Fire edition is really about more content, more ways to play, and just more downright fun that you've come to expect from the Jam franchise. And that's going to be available on Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network. But changing gears just a little bit, NCAA Football 12. Of course, as you can tell by my accent and the weird dialect of English that I speak, I'm clearly not from around here. But I have been in North America for about the last 7 or 8 years, and football is more and more become a part of my life and certainly the life of my family. And as we look at, NCAA, that's just 5 days away, you guys, the people that play NCAA football, really gave a lot of strong feedback and a lot of really clear feedback about, increased depth needed in the game, more work to be done in the core gameplay, more work to be done around career mode. And for many of you who've already received your review copies and are starting to play and write your reviews, I think you'd agree the team at Tiburon have done an amazing job and really delivered what is the best college football experience to date. But given that you are playing your review copies and, starting to write reviews, I want to share with you what I think, my big 5. As many of you have heard me say before, and Peter say, and other EA Sports crew, everything is social. It's not just about what happens on Facebook. Everything is social. And I'm not sure we have a team that has embraced this as much as the NCAA team has. Whether it's, dynasty mode, career mode, or team builder, and extending all of those features to the web so that you can connect with your friends and connect with the experience while you're away from the console, it just creates this new, world that you operate in. And when you take something like Team Builder, I'll give you an interesting stat. Team Builder alone, with that web access and that web extension that extends the play, means that on day 1 of NCAA Football 12 this year, there are going to be 1 million user-created teams that you can download and use in the game from the very first boot up of the game. So that's pretty exciting. And so you get to use that 1 million, or you can go and create your own. And ultimately, what I hope I'm standing here talking about next year is that we're now at 2 million user-created teams, and that we just keep increasing that social interaction and that socially and user-generated content. Second, of course, at the very core of the game is the new collision system. And again, for anyone who's been playing the game, I think when you pick up and play, what you feel is a level of responsiveness and authenticity that we haven't had in football games for a very long time. And it really changes the way you play the game. You now have full control of the player all the way to the point of impact. And as you play more and more, you start to realize how this truly does enhance the way you play football and deliver a level of authenticity that we haven't seen before. But for the NCAA team, and one thing that's really important, they know that the gamers that are playing football are all about, control and customization. They're all about reliving, their college football dreams and the things that happen for them on campus. And so custom playbooks is now probably the most requested feature I think we get from gamers and from the community, and the NCAA team has brought it in for this year. What that means is no longer are you bound to the plays that are set for your team in the game. You can now choose from 5,000 different plays, build your own playbook, and take that against the CPU or against your friends. Again, in the light of making sure that we hand control back to the gamers, custom conferences are another important part of the game this year. So for anyone who followed college football last year, there were some pretty crazy changes in the landscape. Whether it was, Nevada in the Big Ten or Colorado in the Pac-10, now the 12, we saw a lot of change. And again, we wanted to make sure that the game this year was prepared for that, should any more of that craziness happen again. So in essence, what we hope to do by giving that control back to the gamer is make NCAA football future-proof. But again, college football wouldn't be anything with, the passion and pageantry that is truly part of the game. Whether it's the Sooner Schooner, whether it's Tommy Trojan, or 100,000 fans cheering you on in the game, NCAA football and what the team have been able to capture around, that whole college atmosphere really gives you the feeling of what it's like to be on campus on game day. So without further ado, let's take a look at a video that I think not only captures what the game is done well, but what college football is all about.
Another season is upon us. Freshmen arrive wide-eyed with dreams of future glory, while seniors prepare for their last chance at immortality. There are only a handful of these opportunities in a man's life, a handful of chances to distinguish yourself from the rest. It's on these fields where history is made, where legends begin and heroes triumph. Traditions tell the story of what you represent, of those that forge the legacy you uphold. When you come charging out of the tunnel, 100,000 people will be watching your every move. How you respond to that pressure is what defines you. These are the moments that reveal your toughness, your determination, and your pride. The Roughnecks on the Sooner Schooner. Ralphie charging out of the gate. And Chief Osceola planting his spear. The time has come. Your time is now.
Pretty amazing stuff from the NCAA team. So again, July 12th, it's going to be available just around the corner. Get your hands on it today. Amazing stuff from that team. And again, of course, we're super proud of what the college team have done, but we can't take away from Madden as well. Just, I think, a little over 50 days away, we've got Madden 12 ready. You're going to be able to play it here today. For anyone who saw it at the show, I think, again, a level of authenticity and depth that we've not seen for a long time in Madden. So make sure you get your hands on the most recent build. Some great stuff happening there as well. And last and certainly not least, a franchise that I don't think really needs any introduction is NHL. You know, within EA Sports, the NHL team, you know, represents everything that we stand for. I think every year, year over year, they continue to push with quality, authenticity, innovation, creativity, and this year is certainly no different. The team up in Vancouver, of course, got an extra inspiration this year with the Stanley Cup playoffs happening right the way into June. The team got to see a bunch of those games and work that passion back into the game. So a man that probably also needs no introduction, senior producer and someone who I know didn't miss a second of the action in Vancouver during the playoffs, although I can assure you he was not burning cars or looting Louis Vuitton, David Littman.
Thanks, Andrew.
Cheers, mate.
All right, thanks, Ron. All right, let's talk some hockey. As Andrew said, the NHL franchise has a strong, strong tradition of quality and gameplay innovation. Just look at the last few years, some of the innovations that the team has delivered. The skill stick, Real AI, the EA Sports Hockey League. A lot of these you see in other games now. So, unbelievable job by the team back in Vancouver. NHL 12, no different. Continuing to push the boundaries and deliver the most authentic hockey game we have ever made. So, what I want to do today is show you some of that stuff and show you what we're calling the hat trick, yes, hat trick, of gameplay innovations for NHL 12. So number one, anticipation AI, where every player on the ice has a mind of their own. 2, full contact physics engine, where size and strength really, really matters. And 3, dynamic goalies, where for the first time ever, goalies are part of the physicality of hockey and they're live. So let's roll the video, let's take a look at some of these. And what we're going to do first is we're going to go over anticipation AI. So Wayne Gretzky once said, he was asked what made you so great, he said, I don't go to where the puck is, I go to where it's going to be. And our players in NHL 11 didn't really do a good job of that. Hockey's a game of transition. Players have to know that you got to go from offense to defense, from defense to offense. It's on split seconds. So here's Ovechkin, Alexander Ovechkin, at the blue line in NHL 11. He didn't realize he needed to be on offense until his team gained possession of the puck. Okay? But that's not how Alex Ovechkin plays. He's an offensive guy. He's a sniper. He's looking for breakaway opportunities all the time. So watching NHL 12, he starts coming up ice while the puck is still loose because he thinks maybe his team's going to get the puck. That's the kind of player he is, so he's going to take that chance. In this case, he does get the puck and goes in for a breakaway and scores. That's realistic to Alex Ovechkin. Anticipation is also just as important on defense. So let's look at NHL 11. You know, we had a good defense, but they were very passive. They were reactive, not really proactive. And in this case, Chicago is easily able to gain the offensive zone against Detroit. Detroit's a lot better than that in the neutral zone. Take a guy like Henrik Zetterberg, great two-way player. Watch him at his own blue line. Before the pass is even made, he starts going to where he thinks the puck is going to be. Just like Wayne said, and he gets the puck for a counterattack. Full contact physics engine. Let's talk net battles. Battling in front is a big part of hockey. If you watched the finals, you saw this guy, 6'9", Zdeno Chara, 7 feet on skates, 270 pounds. In NHL 11, he didn't do a good job of pushing people out from in front of the net. But in NHL 12, just like in the finals, he dominated in front of that net, and he was able to push all the Canucks from out in front of the net so Tim Thomas could make the saves, and a big reason was why they won the Stanley Cup. So balance control. Second part, let's take a guy like Sidney Crosby, one of the best forwards in the world, if not the best. In NHL 11, he would get knocked off the puck just like any other player at times. But if you've ever seen Sidney Crosby, he has legs like tree trunks. I'm serious. And he has a strong, low center of gravity and a strong core where he could power his way to the net, which he can, of course, do in NHL 12. Great lead into dynamic goalies, my favorite feature. Goalies are now live. Our fans have been asking this forever. They've been immovable objects in the past. Now you could run them, you could fight them, you could do whatever you want. But authentically, you will get penalties. So make it look like an accident. NHL 12 available September 13th. That's important. And I just want to reiterate our hat trick of gameplay innovations, which will fundamentally change the way you play hockey games. And that is Anticipation AI, full contact physics engine, and dynamic goalies. So, come check us out on the floor and play these features for yourself. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Aaron Cohen, and I'd like to welcome you to The Sims Medieval, an ancient land of kings and queens, knights and knaves in wait. This is not the right voice. This is the voice I used for the last year while The Sims Medieval was released. We now have a new adventure pack. That adventure pack comes out on August 30th, and it needs a whole new presentation voice. Something more like, "Yar! Welcome to The Sims Medieval, pirates and nobles. Pirates have invaded the land and causing all kinds of mischief. And then from the north comes the nobles, a scheming and a cheating and a lying." What we're really doing in The Sims Medieval, Pirates and Nobles, is we're telling a big epic story. We're telling a story of love and war and redemption about these two sides, these two groups of people who frankly don't like each other very much. It's a story you've never seen in a Sims game before. The Sims games have never done anything like this, and we think fans are going to be amazed by it. Aside from selling this big story, we're also introducing some great new features. The first of which is treasure hunting. There's a treasure hunting system. We're going to give you rare treasure maps. We're going to give you special shovels. You're going to scour the kingdom for your treasures. Your treasures could be rare items that will actually empower your Sims to do special things, or you use them to decorate your kingdom. We're giving you parrots and falcons that you can name them, train them. You could send them off on their own adventures. They could actually do a little bit of treasure hunting themselves. You could also send them off to plague some of your enemies. Very fun feature. We're also giving you interrogation chairs. And I want to be very clear about this. These are not torture chairs. So don't call them torture chairs, because no one ever tortures Sims. It's never happened. Will never happen. Torturing Sims does not exist. However, with these cool interrogation chairs, there's very fun and interesting and gentle ways to glean the truth from your Sims. So stop by the show floor, get a demo, sit down and play for a while, say hello, and yar, eye patches are optional. Goodbye, everybody. I'll give you back to Chip Lang.
Thanks. That stuff looks great. I love this time of year. Software starts coming final. You start being able to get your hands on the software and really understand what these guys are making. This stuff looks great. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk to you about what we're up to in the world of EA Interactive. Now, EA Interactive is the place inside of EA where we're focused on bringing games and some of the best casual brands to life on the mobile devices, on the social networks, and on the PC and on the web. We really are kind of obsessed right now about figuring out how to tear down the barriers to entry to get into some of these games. Obviously, you see some of the prices are coming down on some of these products. You see the emergence of free games on the Apple and the Android. You see the popularity that's rising on Facebook products. All of these things together really are what we come to work every day and try to pioneer. We're really focused on a couple of key things. The first being how to get you into games that you love with your friends easy and effectively. It's not as easy as I just made it sound, and I'm going to try to demo some of this stuff for you today. Behind this black curtain, we've got a bunch of cool technology running where we're going to show you some of our latest mobile stuff actually projected up here on the movie screen. I want to start by kind of walking through the underlying technology that's the basis of all this stuff. We introduced something called Origin at E3. So Origin is the technology inside of all of EA that's focused on connecting everybody together, regardless of what platform it is that you may be coming from. So hopefully some of you guys got the chance to see the press conference at E3 where we announced it on the PC. And hopefully some of you have been able to get on and actually download some of the great products that are available at Origin.com right now. I'm having a great time doing it. But Origin gets even cooler when you add the whole layer of mobile. So I want to ask Ivana to come up with me right now, and we're going to actually demo what Origin Mobile looks like up here on the screen. So at the basis of Origin, and what I think is its simplicity and its brilliance, is just one user ID. So I don't care where you're coming in from. If you're coming in from the PC, or if you're coming in from an Android phone, or in this case, if you're coming in from an iPad, one email address and one password. I know I forget all my passwords. I got like 18,000 of them. This is as easy to remember as you can get. One easy to remember password, which then you find all your friends and you connect through all the different normal social mechanics that you would use to find your friends. So what we've got right here is we've got Ivana's account. So she's got an entire account that's been created. It's got her password and it's got all of her games that she's currently got on her device that she can access with one click of a button. But it's not just about what games you have. It's figuring out what are my friends doing. So in order to figure out what your friends are doing, you need friends. So we're going to click on the Friends tab. Now, important to note that this Friends tab is being populated not just by friends that I might have found on my iPad, but also friends that are logging in on the PC. So if one of your buddies is over playing Battlefield, you're going to see stuff that he's doing on Battlefield on the PC. You can jump in and play with him. Or if he's playing on an Android device or on an Apple device, you're going to be able to click in here and see exactly what he's doing, which is really the magic of Origin on mobile, is the news feed. So let's take a click over here and not just see who my friends are, but let me take a look and see exactly what it is that they're doing. So what are they doing on any device? So you can see Marcus Thornley was just playing Battlefield. A couple of them might be playing Scrabble. So finding the right product and finding your friends and getting you synced up regardless of platform is now as easy as one login and one password. But it gets even cooler. So I'm going to actually try to launch into our next demo through a touch of the button, not on the Apple device, but inside of Origin. So let's see if this works. Let's actually try this game, Need for Speed, and voila. I'm going to introduce the producer of Need for Speed to come on up, Jeremy Gross, and we're going to walk through another way which you can enjoy your iPad and some of this hit software on the iPad with Need for Speed. So take it away, Jeremy.
Thanks, Chip. So we're going to take you through Shift 2 Unleashed with the live demo on the iPad here, show you some of the great features in the game, and also how Origin works to make it even better. We have a variety of game modes, including Career Mode and the all-new Quick Race Trials, but today we're going to check out the leaderboard challenges. One key element to any Need for Speed game is the cars, and we have 40 awesome cars in this game, including the exclusive Pagani Huayra, several actual cars from the Team Need for Speed racing team, as well as favorites like Lamborghinis, Porsches, and more. Let's go ahead and nick the Huayra for this event. So amazing tracks and locations are another key element to racing games, and we have a nice variety of tracks and locations to pick from in this game. We're going to go to Abu Dhabi here for this first race coming up in a minute. So other things we've done to this game to really blow it out, we've added an all-new helmet cam, which you'll see up here in a minute, which really takes what we previously had for an interior cockpit view and really takes it to the next level. You'll see that it's much more interactive. You'll see the apex of the corners as you're leading up to it, and just much more of a kind of visceral sense of speed and action as you're really in the cockpit. You'll have authentic animating dials, detailed dashboards, so it really puts you in that first-person driver's experience that really just gives you that visceral racing action. We do have other camera modes that you can race from. We can switch over to an exterior angle, which gives you a nice look at the car, the landscapes. You can really see the high detail quality of the cars, how nice the tracks look, lighting, all that good stuff. Another key part is obviously the controls of a racing game. So we've done a lot of work to make the controls tighter. We've made drifting better, and I think one of the biggest, best improvements is we've really upped the sense of speed in the game. So it's really fast, exciting. You get the racing experience. Obviously with a car like the Huayra, it's always going to be quite quick, but even early on, you're racing Volkswagens, Mazdas, you really get that sense of racing speed that you want out of a game like this. And with Origin, it makes all of this that much better. Right now, Ivana's racing a leaderboard challenge, so at the end of this race, her time's going to post to Origin. She can see how all of her friends have done and compare those scores. It'll also post to the news feed, so those friends can go on and see how she's done. If she does well enough to take first place among her friends, they'll all get a push notification further boasting about her progress. If all of that's not enough incentive to get you into Origin, we further give you extra racetracks you can get that unlock via Origin, as well as extra cash in-game up front so you can upgrade your cars faster. So this is coming soon to both iPhone and iPad. Come by the EAI area and check it out for yourself.
Thanks, guys. That looks great. So that's cool, right? I mean, we've got an iPad and we're playing it up here. It looks that good coming off an iPad. You should see what it looks down when you're actually playing on the little screen. It looks awesome. So just to reiterate what we just did there, right? We logged in with one login and one password. We got into Origin. We launched Origin straight through the application, and then we launched Need for Speed right out of Origin's desktop. And then we were in Need for Speed and we were playing, and then it was pushing my friends' feeds right back in through the leaderboards. That's very powerful. We've never been able to do that before. I don't know of anybody else who's been able to do that. And again, it's total cross-platform, and it's all based on one ID. So we've got another fun angle, maybe something that you didn't realize you could do with your mobile devices. I think the guys on the FIFA team continue to push the boundaries for what we can do in the mobile space with this platform. The game has always looked amazing. It's always been a ton of fun to play. But this year, they've got a fun new mode that you may or may not have seen at E3 that I want to show you here up on the big screen. I want to introduce James Selby, come up here and walk through what you might not realize you can do with your iPhone and your iPad in FIFA Soccer this fall, but you're going to have a blast doing it. James, take it away.
Thanks, Chip. So as Chip said, we're going to be talking about one of the many ways that you can play FIFA 12 on iOS. We're really excited about this year's game on iOS. We've already been nominated for a couple of awards. We've won some. It's shaping up to be a fantastic product. Guys, warmed up? Good to go? All right, let's kick it off. So what we have here is Jeremy and Ivana using their iPhone 4s as controllers. The controllers are connected to the iPad via Bluetooth, and the iPad in turn is connected to the big screen. So this is super easy, really quick. Anyone can set this up in no time whatsoever. Let's see how the guys are getting on. One thing I want to stress here, guys, is that this is 1,000 times the size of an iPad, and it still looks stunning. That's one of the key things for FIFA, is that this year we've really pushed the boundaries of what the platform can offer us. And Chip, I know you're pretty excited.
Yeah, I just want to, does everybody here get what's going on here, right? So we've got an iPad down here in the magic curtain.
It's pretty complicated.
Right? Chuck's kind of hiding, but there it is. And these guys are controlling it from their iPhones, right? No better way to, like, I'm going on vacation. What a great way to go on vacation. You can bring your iPad, your kids might have an iTouch, and it becomes a portable gaming device right there with its own built-in screen. It looks awesome.
It looks good. It looks good. Now, unfortunately, we've got a very tough rivalry here, so they're not going to go easy on each other.
Come on. She keeps saying she's going to score.
They keep saying it, but I don't know. We're probably not going to see it today from what we've seen so far. No, I think it's done. He's a Chelsea fan. We won't hold it against him. It's fine. But I want to iterate how incredible this game is going to be. We really push the boundaries of what the device can offer us. The game's looking stunning. And as we get closer to launch, we can start talking about how we can start integrating the Origin platform and making full use of that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Look, I didn't even know you could do that. I think that's great. I was telling my kids about it this morning. I'm like, you're never going to believe what you can do with FIFA this year. So that's really cool. It's just another way which you can use technology. You know, the iPad and that software is starting to get so powerful. It looks that good on that screen. And then using your mobile device as a controller, it's just another fun way to engage in this software. And again, all of this stuff is all interconnected and brought to you through the Origin network. So I'm going to switch gears real quick. I promise you we're going to show you some stuff on mobile phones. Hopefully you just learned something about a new way which you can play with your iPhone. But I also talked earlier about Facebook and what a huge phenomenon the world of Facebook gaming has become. Are there any Risk fans in the audience? There's got to be some people out there who like Risk. So one of the things that I do in EAI is I manage our Hasbro business, and one of the great brands that Hasbro has is Risk. I know I'm personally a huge fan. I've played it my whole life. I played on XBLA, but I've always wanted to figure out how to play with my friends on Facebook. Well, we've done just that, and what I want to do today is I want to introduce to you Risk Factions on Facebook. I'm going to show a trailer, and I'm going to introduce Spencer Brooks, who's the creative designer on the game, and have you take a good look at this and enjoy the premiere of Risk Facebook.
Hello, I'm Spencer Brooks. I'm the producer on Risk Factions for Facebook, and yes, there will be donkey cannons in the game. I just want to cover 3 things today. First, yes, the rumors are true. It's coming out on Facebook. We want to bring your social graph and make that a central part of the game. Second thing is, we've got a whole set of special weapons that add this great level of strategy to the game that you haven't seen yet. And we think we have the best player versus player of any social game out there. But first, let me take a step back. Risk on XBLA introduced factions. And it was great playing as the zombies and the cats and the yetis and the robots. But they didn't offer a major impact to gameplay. Well, factions on Facebook changes that. We've added a series of special weapons to each faction to give them their own feel and their own strategy. So humans, very offensive special weapons. The cats, very defensive. The zombie special weapons are all about taking your existing zombie troops and making your zombies stronger, faster, better brain eaters. The other thing is PvP. It's such a big part of Risk. And we felt like when you played a game, at the end of it, there should be a winner and there should be a loser. A lot of social games out there that have PvP, they're as much about cooperation as they are about competition. And while co-opetition it's good, we thought a much better PvP experience was where you could take your friend and rub his nose in a humiliating defeat. We're going for total ownage here. And that's something we don't think we've seen in the space. So again, we're in closed beta now. Risk Factions is coming out soon. We've got great special weapons out there, like the donkey cannon. We've got a cat dander bomb. We've got all sorts of really cool stuff, maybe even a mermaid on Segway, I don't know. And we've got a great PvP system. And one thing I guarantee we won't have is we won't have watermelon farming in our social game. Thank you.
Awesome. I know there's certainly not a Facebook game I'm more excited than that. Great work, Spencer. All right, so we've talked a little bit about Origin. We talked about some of the different things you can do with it in Need for Speed, and then we showed you what you can do with the mobile devices in FIFA. Then we showed you Facebook. So this may be the most crazy demo I've ever undertaken. I'm now going to actually try to roll it all together through one of the most popular franchises that we work on here in EAI with Scrabble. And I'm actually going to try, I think we're going to make history today. I'm going to try to demo a version of Scrabble that we're going to be releasing, which is going to have complete interconnectivity and really show you in real time, live, with all these crazy Wi-Fi nets going on in this room, but it's going to work. Up on this screen, we're going to have a game of Scrabble running on Facebook, on Android, on iPad, and on iOS. And here to show you all of that is the guru who's behind all this. Let me get Alex up here on stage to walk through exactly how a game of Scrabble can be played simultaneously on 4 platforms on one screen.
Thanks, Chip.
You bet.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex Benoit, part of the Scrabble team here at EA, and today we're really excited to be showing you a live demo of Scrabble on 4 platforms at the same time. We have
awesome.
Chip here on the iPad, Jeremy over there on the iPhone, Lauren in the back on Facebook, and Ivana on Android. It's coming out on Android Market next week. It'll be free and available on almost every device at launch. And your games are stored in the cloud, so what this means is you can start your games on any available platform and then continue them on any other.
So let's play. So let me get this straight. I want to make sure everybody understands what we've got going here. So I'm playing here on the iPad. You're on an Android. We got an iPhone over here, and Lauren's tucked away over in the corner playing on Facebook. 4 platforms simultaneously on one screen. Whose turn is it? Probably mine. Lauren's turn.
You can only see 2 of them on screen, but they're definitely playing.
All right, Lauren's going to play a move. Deny! Oh, she just denied me because I was going to use that D. Let's see. I think I had a backup. Talk about pressure. I got to come up with a word in front of everybody. How about tie goes to the base runner? How about that? All right, we're going to go tie. Now, was that the best word I could have played?
I don't think so, but you could actually find out.
You guys saw a better one? Probably.
Well, the teacher can also help you there.
The teacher mode? You mean the exclusive teacher mode that's only available in Scrabble on all 4 platforms simultaneously working on screen? Yeah, let's check it out. This always makes me feel awful. Look at that! I could excise a better word, right?
Yeah.
So there it is. I left 40 points on the board. No wonder I don't win at Scrabble. All right. So now whose turn it is? All right, Ivana's turn, except it's not Scrabble unless there's trash talk on 4 platforms simultaneously in front of the world's press.
You can also encourage your friends, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna type this chat, and it's gonna go on to everybody, regardless of platform.
Everybody's gonna
see it
simultaneously.
Let's see. That's cool. All right, what are you coming with? It can't be worse than tie.
It's true.
Come on.
You can also
easy.
You can use your dictionary.
So Scrabble, you never win at Scrabble. You come up with words like XI, right?
You can check. What is it?
All right, nose. All right,
yeah.
we got to round it out. So can we really connect this through? So Android shipping
next week,
and it's free.
Free.
You can get all this
Not
for
worth
free.
any.
4 players connected. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, you're up.
You guys know it's done.
All right, so did you check the dictionary? Another feature that's only in here? All right. All right, good work.
The dictionary.
So guys, that's literally, we just showed you a live product happening on 4 different platforms in real time with a bunch of Wi-Fi noise in the room. Congratulations to the team. It looks awesome. Android shipping, it kind of completes the circle next week. It's free to play. Go, I'm sure a lot of you are playing already. Go have a great time with Scrabble. Good work,
Thanks.
guys. All right, so that's kind of a little taste of what we're working on. We've got a bunch of products from our partners over at Chilingo. I don't know if any of you guys have been playing this great game called Feed Me Oil. They just shipped that. I know my kids are all addicted to that. I'm having a lot of fun with it too. The Chilingo guys have got a bunch of products over in the gymnasium for you to get your hands on and play. I just want to thank you for listening to that part of what we're doing. Remember, it's Origin, it's non-mobile, and the PC. I know we talked a lot about the PC at E3. It's now coming together, and you just saw it in real time with Scrabble there. Kind of the vision that we're going to be rolling out with all of our products going forward, which is how do you tear down the barriers of platform? How do you get people into games, having fun in a quick, easy way with some of the best brands on the planet? So that's the EAI portion of what we're going to talk about. I want to introduce some of my friends from the EA Games label. They've got some killer stuff for you to check out. And then we're going to get you guys turned loose and get you guys playing some games here. Thank you very much.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Richard Frank, and I'm very pleased to be here today to announce the very first download-only title from Criterion Games. Let's have a look at the trailer. So, Criterion's gone back to its roots with Burnout Crash by reinventing the series' fan favourite Crash mode in the latest addition to our multi-award-winning Burnout series. Burnout Crash is inspired by a crazy mix of pinball, retro music, and game shows. It's as simple as driving into an intersection, causing a massive pile-up, and blowing up everything in sight. There are 3 explosive game modes available, each requiring different skills and strategies to maximize your score and get you to the top of the crash wall. Players can connect, compare, and compete with their friends using the next iteration of our award-winning Autolog technology. Burnout Crash also adds a new feature called Autolog Challenges, which allows you to send direct asynchronous challenges to any of your friends. This game will also be EA's first Xbox Live Arcade title to be compatible with the awesome power of Kinect. Burnout Crash will be available this fall for Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network. We've got the game here at the show today, so please come by and have a go. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Brian Nider. I'm General Manager for EA Partners. As you know, EA Partners is committed to working with the world's best independent developers, bringing their creative vision to global markets. As you know, some of our partners we're proud of our partner slate with Valve, Insomniac, Respawn, 38 Studios. We think they're some of the best and brightest in the industry. I wanted to take a moment to welcome our newest member to the EA Partners family, and that is Funcom. We're happy to be representing them. As you know, they had Age of Conan, where they're going to be bringing a brand new MMO to the market, and we're going to share a little bit more about that with you. So up next is Joel Bylos, who's going to give you a sneak peek at Secret World.
Thanks, Brian. Cheers. Hi, everybody. I'm very excited to be here today, all the way from Oslo, Norway, to give you a sneak peek at our new MMO, The Secret World. Funcom has a long history of creating fun, innovative MMOs, having launched both Anarchy Online and Age of Conan Hyborian Adventures. But we're going in a very different direction with our new project. The Secret World is a game that asks a simple question. What if every myth, legend, and conspiracy theory were true? Set in modern times, The Secret World takes place in a universe where our worst nightmares have come to pass. Where vampires lurk in bleak London nightclubs, where werewolves stalk human flesh in the sewers beneath Seoul, and the undead walk the streets of New York City. Players enter the world as a member of one of 3 secret societies: the Illuminati, the Templar, or the Dragon. The secret societies maintain a fragile balance that keeps the world from spiraling into chaos. But how players set about maintaining that balance is up to them. Because when I say that The Secret World is different from other MMOs, this is what I'm talking about. There are no levels, and there are no character classes. The Secret World has a totally dynamic character progression system where players are encouraged to evolve their skills, attributes, and playstyle as they progress, based on their preferences, helping to keep both PvE and PvP fresh, dynamic, and fun for hundreds of hours. Be an expert marksman, be a hammer-wielding street thug, be a sorceress who controls the very blood in her enemy's veins. With over 500 powers, there is no limit to how you can customize your character and play the way that you want to play. So, before I go, I want to show you our latest teaser trailer. With the others in the series, we've been focused on hot chicks, dangerous monsters, and amazing action. We're taking a slightly different tack with this one, but, as you'll see from the video, when the darkness rises, even the most private of places becomes dangerous for the uninitiated. Thank you very much.
Product not yet rated. My name is Fernando Mello, and I'm a senior producer at BioWare. Over the last couple years, I've been working on Dragon Age, from Dragon Age Origins through to Dragon Age 2. And one of the things that I've been really, really proud of the team is how they did not sit on their laurels at the end of Dragon Age Origins, and really took to task how we can continue to bring innovation and move the franchise forward. With Dragon Age 2, we saw a whole slew of new fans that enter the franchise, players that got to experience the world of Dragon Age for the first time and BioWare games in general. We also saw a lot of our existing fans that really gravitated to all the new things that we introduced with Dragon Age 2. For example, improved graphics and the completely revamped new art style. The fact that the controls are a lot more responsive, the combat is a lot more dynamic, and the mechanics are better. And also that the story is much more intimately focused on a brand new hero and the journey through power. But at the launch of Dragon Age 2, we also received a lot of feedback from press, reviewers, of course, and our fans as well. And we listened. And the team has really taken this to heart. So today, I'm really, really proud to be able to stand here and proud of the team once again and to present to you Legacy, our first major story-based DLC for Dragon Age 2 since we shipped the game. Legacy is going to be available on the major platforms, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PC, Mac, July 26th, later this month. And with Legacy, you are going to be able to dive a lot deeper into the story of the Hawke family, in particular the father character. You're going to be traveling to all new areas, not just outdoor areas, but also you're going to dive very deep into an ancient Grey Warden prison. You're going to be taking on brand new creatures as well, including some new Darkspawn, which you'll get a chance to see. And you're also going to be challenged much more tactically than before, where Hawke and the followers are going to have to use the environment a lot better, as well as all of their abilities in order to be successful. And last but not least, you're going to be facing an enemy so powerful that the Grey Wardens themselves have kept it a secret for millennia. So without further ado, we're actually going to jump live to a demo here on stage on an Xbox 360. With me today is Randall Bishop, who's at the controls. And at the point where we're jumping in here, we're more than halfway through the downloadable content at this point. Hawke and the followers have made their way down through the portion of the tower, the Grey Warden prison. They're now at the base of that tower area, and they need to make their way across this area and come back up the other side before they can take on this ancient evil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Randall kind of run through from this point, and then I'll explain a little bit more of what's going on. So what we saw there was a Genlock Alpha. This is a new creature that we've introduced into Dragon Age 2. You could see that it was sporting a massive shield which it used to great effect. What you also saw is that the creature was trying to use its environment a lot better. It had set up an ambush. You also saw that the enemy archers were staying at a distance, and it created a much tougher, challenging fight tactically for the party to deal with. Randall did a great job with that. As we move up towards the tower now, Hawke is approaching a third and final seal, which he has to break 3 of those in order to get to this ancient evil. In order to do so, he's actually carrying a weapon, which you see here as a rogue. He has a dagger. The weapon will, of course, be based on whatever class you're playing and the weapon style that you use. And the weapon effectively acts as a key. Now, each of these gates is guarded by a guardian creature, and this is essentially a mini-boss encounter. It's a very tough challenge. Worth pointing out that for this demo, just for the sake of brevity, we are in casual mode, but be prepared for these mini-encounters to be quite tough. right, good job, although we lost Hawk there for a second. So what you saw there was a Pride Demon. The Pride Demon is not a new creature to Dragon Age 2, but what we did do is added a ton of new abilities, and one of the things that you saw with this Guardian in particular is that he could create duplicates of himself. So Randall, there's a couple different ways to approach this, but Randall sort of took the Route 1 method, which is just hack away at as many of these to try to suss out which one is the real creature and then take that on. Now that he's defeated the Guardian, he actually can break the seal by using the weapon, the key, and using one of these pillars. You'll note that each of the pillars actually has a different bonus that can be applied to the weapon, and every seal has different bonuses as well. So what this means is, as a player, I can actually completely customize how I want this weapon to behave and what kind of bonuses I want based on my playing style. The really cool thing about this is that you can actually take the weapon outside of the DLC back into the main game or into future content as well. All right, so that is a very, very brief glimpse of what we have in store for you in Legacy. Legacy, once again, is going to be coming out later this month, July 26th, for PC, Mac, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3. For those of you that are here, I welcome you to come and take a look at it firsthand. We'll have a couple of different saves so you can check out some of the other areas. You're also welcome to start from scratch so you can get a bit of a feel for that as well. And that's about it. Thank you very much.
I'm a huge fan of that franchise. I cannot wait to get my hands on that. That looks awesome. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Today we got a quick glimpse at some of the new stuff coming out for sports. You know, I thought hockey, that game looks awesome. Got some great stuff coming out this fall from sports. We saw the new, I promise I won't do a pirate voice, but we saw the new game from The Sims. We got a chance to actually demo 4 platforms simultaneously with Scrabble, all powered by the Origin Network. I thought that was great. And then obviously this killer stuff that's coming from the games group. So you got a chance to look at it on a big screen, but you know, if I know you guys, I know what you want to do, which is let me get my hands on it. Let me play. Right? So we've got a whole demo set up over in the gym right now, which has got all of these games plus a whole bunch more. We've got the products from Chilingo over there on mobile that I said you need to get your hands on and try. So we're going to have a great time with that. Couple of things that I also want to bring up. Right now, we've got a special treat for you guys out on the Great Lawn. So after we leave here, head that way on your way to getting over to the gym. And I got one more big piece of news. Over in the gym, right now, I know you guys probably stood in huge long lines at E3 to get your hands on Battlefield, but multiplayer Battlefield is playable right now over in the gym. So when you guys get over there, make sure you get your hands on that. I thought that thing looked great at E3. It looks even better now. Thank you everybody for coming. Have a great time. We've got a big party for you planned this afternoon. Thanks for listening.
It doesn't matter if you love him or capital H-I-M.